More to the game. I'm doing a different style video today. We back talking about the NBA. And I was on my Instagram and I saw a post. You know, it's a lot of wild, crazy stuff on Instagram. But this post got me thinking because usually, I can sort of piece together good fits in terms of play styles and salary cap and assets and who could possibly move where that makes sense basketball-wise and salary cap-wise. But this post had KD going to the Heat. And I'm like, yeah, sure, it's just another post any random person came up with about KD going here or superstars joining together to form super teams. But then I thought about it a little longer, and I'm like, that actually makes sense. So today's episode, I'm going over my top 5 off-season moves that need to happen. Number 1 on the list, gotta go with the king himself. LeBron James should go back home to Cleveland. Whether it involves playing with his son Bronny or not and bringing it to a fairy tale ending, I don't know. But just basketball-wise, LeBron in Cleveland is a great fit. I'm a Lakers fan, and I've enjoyed having LeBron on my team. He got us a championship. He's kept us relevant. And I respect the man and everything he's done for the game of basketball in general. So if he decides to leave LA to go back to Cleveland, I wouldn't be mad at it. That's home. It's where he started. It's where he came back for redemption. And if he wants to retire there and possibly play with his son at home, I would not be mad at it. Just from a basketball standpoint, it makes perfect sense. They got a 1, a 2, a 4, and a 5. They just need a 3-man. They got Isaac Okoro. They got Max Strus. They got George Niang, Karis LeVert. They got a lot of different wings that, rotate in and out throughout the game, come off the bench. But they don't really have a solidified 3-man. And at LeBron's age that he's going into, he needs people that can take stress off of him. And offensively, he would have 2 dynamic guards in Darius Garland and Donovan Mitchell. And defensively, he has 2 long athletic bigs like Evan Mobley and Jared Allen. And LeBron this past season shot 42% from 3 or 41%, career high, I want to say. So he's more than capable and more than willing to spot up a little bit more and be a jump shooter. And in those times where you can't play your 2 bigs because sometimes Mobley and Allen aren't the most productive lineup, LeBron can slide to the 4. So I think that would be an amazing fit. Going back home, it has the Hollywood ending, but it also makes sense basketball-wise. The only problem is that it would most likely have to be a sign and trade, and LeBron might have to take less money. So if he was to opt out of his deal with the Lakers or opt into his deal, it would have to be a sign and trade type of deal. I would say probably just package up those wings, Okoro, LeVert, and Niang for LeBron, and add a draft pick or 2, whatever necessary. Add the necessary young pieces and picks, and get LeBron for a year or 2. And the Cavs would be a serious title contender. You got to think about the East. You got the Celtics, you got the Sixers, you got the Bucks. You got the Knicks, you got the Heat. They would have somebody to throw at Joel Embiid. They have somebody to throw at Giannis. They would be able to defend and score with any other teams like Boston and New York and Miami. You got the young Magic, they're not ready yet, so you still got time to jump over them. The Pacers don't play any defense, and you can attack and expose them. I just see a big opportunity. The West is a gauntlet anyway. So going back to the East would make sense for him, and I think on paper it makes a lot of sense. My number 2 move, and the move that I most likely want to see, is Trae Young to the Spurs. I know a lot of people hate on Trae Young. They say that he doesn't play defense, that he's ball dominant too much usage. He's not a good 3-point shooter to be chucking up those shots. He's small, liability, all that stuff. But Trae Young with Wembanyama, hear me out. Trae Young is a defensive liability, right? He's small. If you're doing a pick and roll with Trae Young and Wembanyama as a defender to pick and roll could guard the ball, add the roller. So Trae Young would be helped out tremendously defensively. But then on the offensive side, Trae Young will help Wemby out. Obviously, they could be a great pick and roll tandem. You don't want to switch your big off of Wemby, so we're going to get a lot of drop coverage where Trae Young's getting open shots. And if you do have to step up or if you do try to switch, Wembanyama's there for the mismatch. And you got the loud threat. Trae Young's a great passer. Spreads the floor, can find the other guys, make sure the other guys get used as well, like the Keldon Johnson, Devin Vassell's, and the role players that they have. And obviously, you probably need to add more around the roster, but that duo would be nice. And if you know me, I love guard big combos. I love having me a point guard that can get me the ball and having shooters around to make the spacing work. So I think that Trae Young in San Antonio would be amazing. I know San Antonio already had a partnership with DeJounte Murray, and Pop loves his son, his young fella, and he might want him back. But in my opinion, Trae Young would be a better piece to get back. Give up the picks necessary, whatever salary cap you got to do, especially from this draft. So this draft is not supposed to be that good. Hopefully hold on to your future picks. But that duo, I think, is very complimentary. You got two people that can cover up each other's weaknesses. Wembanyama needs somebody that can get him the ball and get him more involved than the guys he's been playing with. And Trae Young needs somebody that can cover him up defensively. He is small. So I think that pairing right there would be amazing. And my third offseason move that has to happen, we're going to go back to the beginning with the KD to Miami. I was really sold on it. I thought about it like KD in Miami works perfectly. In this situation, obviously, Phoenix would be punting on their big three and basically blowing it all up, which probably not going to happen unless you can figure out a way to finesse a bunch of moving pieces and get 3, 4, 5 team trades involved. But let's talk about KD in Miami. KD with Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo. I think those are literally like the three most personality-wise complementary pieces you could possibly have. Is that dog, that alpha, that leader that KD is not. KD is that scorer, that three-point shooter, that offensive guy, that offensive scoring mentality that neither Butler or Bam really has. Even though Butler is a dog in the playoffs and he gets them up, but in terms of being able to offensively like just take over, that's KD. And it's not, it's effortless. And Bam is someone that's not so aggressive, and that falls right into KD. Like KD can make things easier on Bam because Bam looking for pass, he's looking for shooters. You get the ball to KD. KD's obviously gonna draw a lot of attention, get Bam open, and he spreads the floor, gives spacing for Bam and Jimmy. So I think that is a great mix, personality-wise and basketball-wise. And in terms of everything for KD, like I feel like Miami is everything KD has not had. And I don't know if he's running from it, but it's just not what he's been going towards. Because Miami is about toughness, culture, tradition, defense, and the teams that he's been on since the Warriors have been the exact opposite. There was no culture and toughness and defense in Brooklyn or Phoenix. And you go down to Miami, you go down to the Godfather, Pat Riley, he ain't having that. One thing for sure, they're going to play hard and tough. And Eric Spoelstra going to make sure them X's and O's is on point, which he also didn't have in Brooklyn or Phoenix. I think that would be a perfect marriage, assuming that those three can stay together and they can somehow figure out the pieces around them. Because if KD's coming, it ain't going to be cheap. But he's older, so it shouldn't be a super bag. And obviously you've seen how these trades have turned out in terms of the KD and Bill trades. They didn't really turn out too well. So teams have precedent to say that we can't give up so much for a player that's commanded so much salary and is a little older. So if they're able to build that team around them, because they match up with all the bigs, because they have Bam. Bam can guard. I mean, he's not going to stop. No one's going to get stopped at that level. But he can make it tough on Giannis, Embiid, and Jokic. You got two wings that can make it tough on the Celtics and the Knicks. Who else is out there? That's really it for the East. Whoever they come out of the West, like, it's probably going to be Denver or Minnesota. Like I said, they got the bigs and the wings. So The shooting is going to be the problem. You got to make sure you get the shooting around them because KD's the only shooter of those three. Jimmy Butler in the playoffs, he hit shots, but probably lose Tyler Hero with your shooting. If you can have some shooting around them, keep Duncan Robinson, and find some other shooters. I like their chances. I'm not saying they'll be a favorite or they will be this all-time great NBA team, but I like that team a lot. I would. And my fourth off-season move that should happen is Devin Booker to the New York Knicks. And this is perfect because in the last move, I said KD will be going to Miami and Phoenix will probably be punting on their big three. So if Devin Booker got to go, New York would be perfect. I think Devin Booker and Jalen Brunson will be a dynamic backcourt. Obviously, they got to figure out the big situation because Julius Randle probably would need to go. Find another four. They got Anunoby for defense. Thibodeau's going to bring the defense. Got McBride playing defense, Mitchell Robinson. Like, whatever you can hold on to, obviously you want to hold on to, but him and Brunson, you got a bigger guard. Like he needs a bigger guard to give him some help. And if they can just find that big to go along, it wouldn't be a perfect. That's why it's number 4. It wouldn't be a perfect move because they still need a big. I'm a firm believer that in today's NBA, you're gonna have guards, but do you have a big that can defend and be versatile enough where you don't run into mismatch problems in the playoffs? Because the playoffs becomes a half-court game and people are hunting mismatches. People are exposing the drop coverages. Tyrese Maxey just destroyed that drop coverage in Game 5 for the Sixers. So I think that would be an amazing move. Devin Booker, I want to say, has some type of relationships with the Knicks front office, I want to say. I'm not sure. Tibbs, may not rub him the right way. I don't know. A lot of players say they wouldn't want to play with Tibbs. But I know Devin Booker, he want to win bad. He had a taste of the finals, didn't play as well as he could have, and I know he wants to win bad. And going to a place like New York could give him an opportunity to win and uplift his brand to another level. Like Jalen Brunson is a very good player, all-star, star in this league. But Devin Booker, I think him being the number 1 in New York is a different level. New York has not had a star like that since Melo, and Melo was not a guy that was going to push you over the top in terms of his play style. He didn't affect the game enough. Like his plus minus was like 0. Like Melo's a great scorer, but he didn't affect the game enough to put you over the top. And Devin Booker, I feel like with the way he can shoot the ball, score the ball, can distribute, you got to keep working on that, handle the ball, and he can defend. He's shown that he can defend. I've seen Devin Booker lock in a few times. He can defend. I think that would be a great fit. I know the New York media and ESPN would love it. Having D-Book and Jalen Brunson in the Garden, come on now. They're going to be eating that up. And they starving for somebody like that to be in the Garden. So I think it could work, always assuming that the pieces would be there. You got to have the pieces as Phoenix. But I think it could work. A lot of these aging superstars would be in a way better situation if they were willing to hit free agency. But that's not how the NBA is working anymore. These guys have decided to take those big bags and get traded. And then in that process of getting traded, you deprive the team of what it needs to really become a super team. Like being able to just take KD and put him onto the Warriors, like, come on. You're not going to have that anymore because whoever you get, you got to trade for them. But if these aging superstars were to be able to hit free agency, they'd be able to go right into a team, and the team would not have to pay that much. They wouldn't have to lose all their draft picks and young pieces. Just imagine KD, LeBron, Steph, Booker, whoever. They're all unrestricted free agents, meaning that they don't have to get traded anywhere. They can just pop into a team. And if they did get traded, it'd be a sign and trade, which they wouldn't be giving much back because in a sign and trade, teams don't get much back. So just imagine you could just place Devin Booker on New York right now, or place LeBron in Cleveland right now, or place KD in Miami, or place Steph wherever. If you were able to do that, these old heads would have a fighting chance at a title, I'm telling you. But it's just not how the economics is working in the NBA right now, so it's not possible. But Let me go ahead to my number 5 offseason move that has got to happen. I want to see either Klay or Demar in Philly. Klay Thompson obviously is not the player he used to be, but he's still somewhat Klay. He can give you shooting, size on the perimeter, and championship DNA. You put him in Philly, just on the wing, like having someone to do dribble handouts with Embiid, provide some spacing for Tyrese Maxey and Embiid's two-man game, have an opportunity to take some load off of those guys during the regular season and make big shots in playoffs. Like, a chain of center is needed for him anyway. So I would love to see him in Philly. I feel like it would work perfectly. He wouldn't command too much of a bag where he had to, drop off a lot of pieces. Obviously, Tobias Harris probably going to be out of there, but that's fine. But also DeMar DeRozan could fit there as well. It'd be a different fit. You have to make sure you, like in the Heat situation, maximize that shooting because DeMar DeRozan doesn't shoot that many threes, not a three-point shooter like that. So his fit would be nice, not as nice as Klay Thompson to me, but he would also be nice. He would serve more so as someone that can take the load off Embiid and Maxey, especially if Embiid's hurt. He's someone that can give you a lot of scoring and a lot of leadership to hold down the fort in those moments where you don't have Embiid or don't have Embiid fully, without also needing to take away from Maxey because he's fine playing off the ball. He's older. He wants to win a championship. He's willing to take a backseat and be a third wheel. So I like that fit as well. Obviously, get the pieces right around, like I said, but I like that fit too. And he'll be playing with Kyle Lowry, get Kyle Lowry signs. I think that would be a nice little fit right there. So that's a little chronicle right there. But I like those moves, guys. I really do. Y'all got to tell me how I did in the comments. Tell me what were your favorite moves, what were your least favorite moves. Tell me what the moves I should have included that you guys want to see happen. Just make sure they're realistic. We're not playing fantasy basketball. It's a salary cap and trades that have to be made for both sides to agree on. So don't just say, oh, we're going to trade LeBron to the Warriors for Draymond Green. Come on now. Come on. Let's be realistic. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. I enjoyed bringing it to you as always. I just felt like getting y'all a video today. I did. I was sitting around on my evening off, and I felt like getting a video. So please, guys, like the video, subscribe, comment, share, do what you do as always, and I'll be back when I can with some more content.